All right, what is up, guys? So as you can see on the screen, this is one of the big things I've mentioned before. If you've watched my stream, you've probably and asked me about it. You've probably heard me talk about this, or watching my YouTube videos on Dungeonborne. Uh, as you guys may or may not know, Dungeonborne Early Access will release tomorrow, on the 18th. You see, for me right here, Thursday, July 18th, at 10 p.m. EST. That's the time I'm in, so it's 10 p.m. for me. It releases tomorrow. And I've had a lot of people ask me whether or not I was going to play it, and my answer is always the same. It's like, if the game looks good or if it looks like they're going to have players, and the main thing I said what that would determine that is if they have a free to play model. I didn't think they would go full free to play, but they did it, so that's cool. But yeah, this game is going to be completely free to play tomorrow when it launches. They're going to have like transactions where you can buy like, extra stash tabs, or you can buy a membership to list stuff on the auction. As it says right here, trading will be available to all players, but creating auction listings for sale will require an auction membership pass. This serves two purposes. First, it allows us to generate revenue to support the game's ongoing development. Second, it prevents abuse and ensures that players can find genuinely valuable and rare auction items without being overwhelmed by countless trivial listings. And then right here, additionally, you'll be able to unlock 3 additional stash tabs by playing for free, 4 tabs in total, and we will offer additional stash tabs at a couple dollars each for those who desire extra storage space. So, yeah, they're just gonna be full free to play, and then you're gonna be able to spend money for things that like help you in the game, like your extra stash space, being able to list things on the auction, that type of shit. Other than that, they like pretty much explained why they were doing it, like why they're going free to play. And I mean, obviously, like regardless of what all these things say, we pretty much know why. Like, I mean, yeah, all the things they said might be true. However, the number one thing is if they did not go free to play, realistically, there was no way to compete with Dark and Darker because Dark and Darker is already like the big thing in the field. Dark and Darker has their free to play model, and no one's going to be swapping from Dark and Darker to Dungeonborne at a rate of having to buy the game to do it. There might be people that want to play Dungeonborne, but it's like, why spend an extra, $30, $40 or whatever it is over to play this game that isn't like significantly better than Dark and Darker? Even if you enjoy it more, because there are plenty of people out there that do, and I have times I have as well, but I don't enjoy it enough that I'd be willing to spend, I'd be pretty much willing to buy Dark and Darker again at the same, like, it's just spending the same amount that I've spent on Dark and Darker to play this game. But with it being free to play, that opens up the room for people to play it literally whenever they want. You have no commitment. You're not like, oh, if I spend money, I kind of have to play it now, but then I want to play Dark and Darker. There's literally, you can just go play it whenever you want, and I'm very, very excited for this. I will be playing this tomorrow night when it comes out. Now, I'm really excited. I'm really, really happy they did this. But other than mentioning the free to play, there's a ton of balance changes they did. That's all like going over some things. They've item balances, like they've been doing a countdown, and every time they're doing like what's it called? They're doing like patch notes. Like for example, it's just a quick version. They buffed like blue plus items. They buffed like the base stats. They enhanced some stat affixes. Um, they did this improved monster attack patterns and AI behavior for ghost, werewolf, mimic, skeleton type monsters, and goblin type monsters, which is really nice. Because the monsters were like a little wonky. Camera and control. They added like did other things here. This right here is actually really really big. Added and allow others to inspect your inventory option. Turning this off means that other players can't view your character's inventory in the waiting room. So people can't just look and see what gear you have on. So either they run from you or like try to team on you or whatever. Not that, that really happens, or hunt you down, anything like that. They added a buy now price option for the auction listings. It's pretty much just a buyout. You set it, and people can meet this and instantly buy it rather than having to wait. The thing. So okay, so there's an upside and a downside for this. What this is effectively is this allows like you could sell something to your friend really easily, or the downside is RMTing, right? Like you could set the buy now and people could just like RMT with it effectively. They do with items, but it is kind of risky because if you list it really low, people could do it. But this is a nice way to be able to transfer items to your friend for like a relatively low price. Although I don't know how consistent this will be because obviously, like I said, their item could get sniped, so it is still kind of risky. But that is what it is. Um, they added a challenger mode, which is pretty much just allowed solo. You can solo queue into trios. I don't love this. I really, really don't love this because then your solo games could just be filled with like solo, or your trio games could be filled with like solo like rogues and things like that. It could be really, really annoying. Other than that, optimize in-game UI and some interactions. And then here, this is like their really big balance. So now they're going to have multiple skills They said Q skills and E skills, so you can select different ones, and you get they're individual, so you can select like one like you could select one of many Q skills or one of many E skills. You can't have two E skills, so they're like tied to that slot. And they're giving them to fighter, DK, rogue, cryo, and priest at the start, and they said they're planning on adding skills for every class in the future. Death Knight, and this is like specific class balance. Not really gonna go over this too much. One thing I do want to mention is they actually did nerf Pyro pretty hard, which is pretty good. They added casting interval to stage one. They added a damage fall off for stage two, which is the big like this is the big fireball. These are the four homing fireballs, and then they reduced the speed of it in stage two, so you can block it. Which is I don't or not block it. Dodge it. Sorry. And I don't know how much this actually is. Obviously, I haven't seen it, but presumably this is going to be pretty good, and it's going to make the game feel significantly better. And like I said, these are all like other balances for classes, and then they have a little bit of weapon balance. This is equipment balance, like I mentioned earlier. They increased like so. One of my big complaints before about gear was green, blue, purple. All this gear all had the same base rolls and the same range that it could roll. I think it was like 12.8 to 16% for max life, and then like 8 to 10% for damage. And this was consistent across all pieces of gear. And I didn't really like that because realistically, like yeah, like the other pieces, like a higher rarity piece was better because it could roll more, but it just didn't make sense that the gear had the exact same base stats. Even if it's a slight difference, I think like a purple rarity item should be better than a green rarity item. Just makes sense. And that's what they did here. They buffed them, which is really really nice. I don't know how much this is buffed, but I am interested to see it. And then they lowered the activation for most set affixes and enhanced the effects, which is really cool. I think they were a bit too hard to hit for some of the higher ones. Like getting 30 points in something was really difficult because you didn't want because like the set bonuses weren't so good that if you could just completely ignore all your stats and activate a set bonus and be like, okay, nice, this is OP. Like they were really strong, but they weren't that strong because you still needed like oh, I need a I need a piece that has set piece, but also has another good stat. And that was really, really hard to get, and really expensive to get. So is what it is. And they enhanced the effects of some item affixes that weren't really used, such as like life recovered on opening chest, and added elemental damage because most of these are really bad. The number that actually was given was way too low to really be meaningful. Even this right here is still relatively meaningless. Although maybe you find a small meaning in it or a small use in it, if you use it. Like you open a chest without even thinking that you're low HP, and it heals you a bit. And if they increase it by a shit ton, could be cool. They increase base movement speed of all classes by 20, increase the loot speed of chests from 563 seconds. This is nice. This just makes the game faster, allows you to move around more. Really enjoy this. Reduced duration and health of stone walls created by stone shaping. This is nice. And they slightly enhanced the slow of thunderclaps. Don't really get this one. I think thunderclaps are already incredibly strong. Don't think you need to buff them, but hey, is what it is. Maybe they like reduce the duration of it or something. Um, Fixed the camera issue, significantly improving hit detection accuracy for melee weapons. I never had an issue with this. So I don't know what's up with this, but I never had an issue with this. But yeah, and yeah, like I said, and the free to play thing. So yeah, that's it. I'm excited for it. Other than that, not a whole lot to say. I will be playing this tomorrow. If you are down to play it, then play it. Download it on Steam. Do what you gotta do. One thing I will say they didn't mention is I really, really hope the optimization's better. Like if you watch me play, it's no secret that I complained about it 24/7 because literally at any point during the game, I would just start lagging, and the later it got in the game, the worse my lag would get, and it got to the point where towards the end of the game, I would be like 20 FPS, or in a fight, I would run down to literally like 20 FPS. So hopefully they fix that. But other than that, yeah, not a lot to say. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Peace.